Golf in Switch Sports is hard. While most golf games can be easily mastered with some well-timed button presses, Switch Sports Golf forces you to use your Joy-Con like a club, bringing in all the variability that entails. As someone who has played a fair bit of golf in real life, I can tell you that this game is one of the more accurate simulators out there, and those frustrations you feel are common to all golfers. But this is still a game, and there are a few tricks that can help you improve your game in this virtual world, so let's get started with number 1.
Nice birdie.
The first thing to master is hitting the ball straight. Assuming you are using the right Joy-Con if right-handed or the left if left-handed, when you press the button to calibrate the Joy-Con's position, it sets the shoulder button side as the front of your club. When you swing through, if this front isn't facing the exact same position it was in when you started, you will hit the ball to one side or the other, just as would happen with a real club and ball. The honest truth here is that there is a lot of feel involved, but if you stand perpendicular to your TV and try to swing your arm back without twisting your wrist, then when you swing through, twist your hips toward the TV and follow through, you should be able to hit it straight. If you've ever watched professional golf, yes, this follow-through should look just like that. Also, I find it much easier to do all this one-handed rather than trying to use two hands like you would in real golf. The next thing to keep in mind is that you do not have to swing hard. A smooth, moderate acceleration during the downswing is all that is needed.
Nice shot.
Use practice swings to get a feel for this. If you swing hard, you're going to redline and lose control of the ball's trajectory. If you swing too slow, you're not going to get the distance you wanted. Again, this is a feel thing, but a few practice swings should help you master this. You've probably noticed that the pips on the power gauge to the side of your character and the pips on the overview map relate to each other. If the last pip is in a bunker and you hit the ball full power, you'll end up in that bunker. The thing to remember here is that these pips represent where your ball will actually hit the ground, barring any wind or elevation changes. The ball will still roll after this, meaning if the pip you're aiming for is on the flag, you'll actually want to hit the ball short of this so it can roll the rest of the way up and not go flying off the green. So now that we know the power gauge pips help determine distance, how do we actually control the power of our swing to hit the pip that we want? Well, we can do this in our backswing. Simply swing the Joy-Con back until you're hovering around the pip you're targeting, then swing through with that smooth swing we talked about earlier, and you should hit your target nearly spot on. I'm fairly certain that there is a speed threshold programmed into the game that as long as you don't fall under or exceed, you will always hit the ball to the power level determined by your backswing. Understanding and getting a feel for this mechanic is key to hitting precise shots. Moving on to putting now, this game really gives you a putting on glass feeling. The putting is so sensitive and it's way too easy to hit the ball way too hard. The only way I've found to overcome this is lots of practice putts. Gentle, smooth, pendulum-like swings is your best bet. When you are in tap-in range around 3 feet or less, swing very slowly or you'll cream the ball right over the hole. And while we're talking about putting, remember to take elevation into account. You can toggle an elevation map for the green by hitting the B button or down arrow if using the left Joy-Con. Use this to help determine if you need more power for going up a hill or less for going down one, as well as if you need to aim left or right of the hole. If the hole is on a hill that slopes left from your position, for instance, you'll need to hit the ball to the right of the hole and let the slope curve it to the hole. Anyone who's played golf will know that elevation affects your distance, and that applies in Switch Sports Golf too. If you are above the hole, your shot will travel farther before hitting the ground, and if you are below it, your shot will hit the ground sooner and be shorter. Adjust your shots when hitting up or downhill, and remember that the pips on your power gauge and distance gauge on the map always assume level ground and no wind. Watch out for the wind speed and direction on each hole. High winds of 10 miles per hour or more will seriously affect your ball's flight. Crosswinds will move it left or right, and headwinds or tailwinds will make it go shorter or farther, respectively. The crosswinds in the game seem to have more of an effect than the head and tailwinds do. If there is a crosswind, aim your shot into the wind and let the wind bring it back to the fairway. Depending on the wind's strength, you may even find yourself having to aim out of bounds. For head and tailwinds, just adjust your power appropriately. As much as golf is a game of technique, it is also a game of strategy. For instance, if you find yourself in a fairway bunker, don't just go straight for the hole. It will often be better and cost you less strokes in the long run to just hit out to the closest fairway and line up the next shot. It can also be a good idea to lay up, which means if there's a hazard up ahead and you may not clear it with your current shot, just hit your ball in front of it to give yourself an easier time clearing it with the next shot. Finally, consider where the trees are on the course and try to make sure the next shot after that awesome drive isn't right behind a tree. The game will set you up each shot with a predetermined club based on your distance from the hole, but this is not always the best club for the situation. You can use the Y and A buttons or the left and right arrows to switch clubs, and you may want to do this if, for instance, your shot is going into strong wind or up or down a hill. Also, it can be easier to hit a full power shot with a shorter club that lands you just in front of the green and lets you roll on, than to use the recommended club and have to use less than a full swing or risk flying off the back of the green. Please remember to like the video if it helped you out and leave a comment about your best Switch Sports golfing moments. Then check out this video here for more Switch Sports tips. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, and keep on gaming.